Hello, everyone. We are doing episode number 7 for Friday, May 12th, 2023. Time is flying fast, and pretty soon it will be time to go. So you might have noticed that there are only two of us here. Our third musketeer is on a special assignment. Ron left for the city of Kharkiv. He was asked by another group of volunteers to do some special work for them. So he took a morning train and he's out there already. So we're very proud of him, very proud of what he's doing for Ukraine and the Ukrainian people. And God bless. And it was a pleasure being together, and we'll see each other again soon.
Right. And so our videos are a little different now. As you can see, we're back to our more or less normal stuff, no special effects. But we're gonna try to keep you guys more or less aware of what's going on. Anyway, we're gonna cover today. We're gonna cover our Friday trip, which was May 12th. We got up in the morning. Remember the episode when we bought all the medication and everything? Well, that was the day when we were meeting Natalia, Dr. Natalia Leluch, who was supposed to take us with her ambulance, but the ambulance died the night before. She checked on it and she had all the medication inside, and the car did not start. So she had to borrow another car, and it was an SUV. And she showed up early in the morning on Friday, loaded us up, and the three of us and Natalia went to a town called Zagalci, which is literally, it's about one road, 4 kilometers long. There are houses, there used to be houses on both sides of the road. It's a small road, it's a side road of a big, kind of like a highway road. And they were bombarded. That whole village was bombarded nonstop. There's not a single house standing. And so that was her visitation. She had a day to visit her patients and deliver the medication.
Zagaltse is really not a town. It's a small village, and it's a long village, but it's a one street kind of a thing. And it so happened that the front line went right through that street. So you can imagine both sides shelling each other and everything that happened. They have an air view of destruction. Not a single building was left standing. So, being a remote village, it is very hard for the government workers to go there. They're concentrating on bigger population centers, and volunteers like Dr. Natalia are pretty much the only hope they have. And there are some old people there. They are not mobile, and she's going in and checks on them, gives them new supplies of medications, checks their blood pressure, even performs blood tests, and performing all kinds of services for them.
And she calls it her clinic on the bench, because she comes out with all her stuff for her backpack with meds and with all the instruments, and all these people, whoever can come, they come to this bench, or she goes to the next house and sits, and there are people on the old women. There were only women for some reason. There was only one old man.
So talking about house visits, I know that it's not very common in the United States to have a doctor come and pay you a visit, but she does, and that's what she does. As we told you before, she works in her clinic 3 days a week, and 4 days a week she's doing this. And we were very proud to be a part of it. So there was one man among all these women, and while the population of this village was told to evacuate pretty much 2 hours before the Russians came. He decided to stay back. And the reason is that there were about 15 dogs in the neighborhood, and these dogs had no place to go. They were not evacuated. And he had 2 pigs that he had to take care of,
And cats.
and cats. So he was the only person left behind, and he was describing to us in great detail, with a lot of tears, how the dogs were all huddled around him when he was hiding in some kind of a hole in the ground from the shells falling all over him. There was a direct hit on his house, and everything that they owned, everything that this family owned, ended up being thrown all over the field. Nothing was left, not just the house, but no piece of belonging was left there. So the family lost everything.
But we see these all around. I mean, this is not just one family. This is what you see, and this is what you listen. And people want to talk. When they see somebody who wants to listen, they will talk nonstop. They need to let it out. They need to tell you their story. They need to be listened to be heard. It is incredible how much people want to talk. People need that, to let everybody know what they're suffering. And it's interesting, like I said before, most of these are women, because men are either serving at the front line, or they're trying to do something. They're working at the construction sites, they're cleaning, they're building, they're serving, they're making nets. I mean, it is incredible. Everybody is involved in something. And these women, it's unbelievable how resilient they are. They're sitting there, and they said that when they came back and there was nothing left, that they cried all the time. But now they're all making jokes, they're laughing, and it just made me very, very empowered.
So after this town, we went driving through a village called Moshun, and it was an elite village with beautiful homes built behind high fences, and every home was destroyed. It was unbelievable. We also visited a town called Hastomel, which is a place where a famous airport was attacked during the first day of the invasion, and somehow the Ukrainian special forces were able to push the enemy back, and about 200 helicopters did not land in that, or did not survive, I should say, that first battle. And that's why the city of Kiev was able to escape the occupation. Many people attribute that to the defense of Hostomel, and we saw all kinds of destruction there as well. So after spending about 8 hours going through the destruction of these villages and hearing people's stories, we went to a dinner date with a couple that we've been friends for a few years. They took us to a new restaurant row, which was created in the old factory in the center of Kiev. It was a military part of the military industrial complex, the factory called Arsenal. That's where ammunition was being made, and some other super secret stuff during the Soviet years, but it dates back to the 19th century. So these are very grim brick buildings. After the fall of the Soviet Union, they were pretty much abandoned. And yet someone found the time and money and resources to rebuild it right before the war started. And they created an amazingly beautiful restaurant row.
They built it and it was ready to be open, and then the war started. So there was a big question whether do we continue, do we open this area and show people that we live, or do we wait until the war is over? And they decided to open, and there are so many people, and it shows that life continues. And all the soldiers and veterans that we spoke to, and we were asking them, how do you feel that Kiev is so alive and there's so many people? And they said, that's why we're fighting. That's why we're out there, so that we can have, our children can have this happiness of going out, having fun, listening to music. There are so many restaurants there. There is a lot of light, and there are lots of people, young people, and full of hope, full of future. And we sat down in a great restaurant called Ribernia, which is the rib place, and it's actually from Lviv. And it was full of people, and there was a line of people trying to get in. It was incredible.
It was hard to believe that that just 30 minutes away from there, there was a street full of demolished homes and a few old people sitting around waiting for a volunteer to show up. But as we had this amazing dinner, we went to a rock and roll club, and I'm going to play you a little clip of what we've heard and seen. So you decide for yourself that how the life is going on in Ukraine. But before that, we say Slava Ukraini.
Героям слава.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Go, Johnny, go, go. Go, Johnny, go, go.